Welcome to this video, where we will talk about the movie Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. We will begin by exploring the movie storyline, summarizing its plot, and discuss the cast and characters. Then we will take a closer look at the film production details and box office performance. Finally, we will share review and audience reaction to give you a well-rounded perspective. Let's get started. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, directed by Chris Columbus, produced by John Hughes, written by John Hughes, based on characters by John Hughes. For the video game, see Home Alone 2, Lost in New York video game. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, in a 1992 American chemistry comedy film directed by the Chris Columbus and written by and produced by John Hughes, the sequel to the 1990 film Home Alone and the second film in the Second Alone franchise. The film stars Michaels, Click, John Paxels, Dinah Stearns, John Heard, Trim Carey, Breda Frickers, and the Catherine O'Hare. In follow Kevin's McCallister as he thus spared from his family on their holiday vacations to the Florida, this time in New York City where he and the others encounter with the Mad Brands after this escape during a Persian's ride. Huge finish. Reading the family by the February 1991 after singing a six pictures deal with the 20th Century Fox. Clark's return was the confirmed in the May and the rest of the cast was the finals. Sooner after principal photography took place between the December 1991 and May 1992 and was on the location in the elevations and New York, including at the Rockefeller Center and the original World Trade Center. After principal photography took place between December 1991 and May 1992 and was done on location in the elevations and New York, included at the Rockefeller Center and the original World Trade Center, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York was the theatrical release in the United States by the 20th Century Fox on 20 November 1992. It received mixed review from the citizens who praised the performance while criticized its dark tone and the violence. Very well as its similarities to the first film, the film grossed over $3,590 million worldwide, becoming the third highest grossing film of the 1992, a stand-alone sequel with a new cast, Home Alone 3. Received mixed review from the critics who praised the performance, while citizens in the dark tone and the violence, as well as its similarities to the first film. The film grossed over the $359 million worldwide, becoming the third highest grossing film of the 1992, a stand-alone sequel with a new cast. Home Alone 3 was released in 1997. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, in the final Home Alone movie to features the cast for the first film. However, Devon reprised his role as the Buzz McCallister in the sixth film in the franchise Home Sweet Home Alone. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, in the final Home Alone movie to feature the cast from the first film. However, Devon reprised his role as the Buzz McCallister in the sixth film in the franchise Home Sweet Home Alone. Plot: the McCallister family is preparing to spend Christmas in the Miami and the gathers at the Cata and the Peters Chica home. Their the youngest son Kevin views Florida as the correct to the chemistries due its the tropical climates and the lake. The McCallister family is preparing to spend Christmas in the Miami and the Graters at the Katy and the Peters Chico home. Their the youngest sons Kevin views Florida as the contractory to the Christmas due to its the tropical climate and the lack of the Christmas tree at a school Christmas pageants. During Kevin's solo, his the older brothers best embrace him. Kevin retires by the pushing him, which causes the interior joy to the fall. Returning the pigeons at the home, Buzz makes a false apology to the Kevin, which the family accept. Kevin refuses to the apologize for his exceptions and the betters his family to Brazil. Buzz lies and the forwardings. At a school Christmas pageant, during Kevin's solo, he's the older brother Buzz embarrassing. He's the Kevin retiles by the pushing him, which causes the entire chair to fall, returning the pigeons at the home. Buzz make a false apology to the Kevin, which the family accept. Kevin refused to the apologize for his actions and the braced his family for the believing Buzz lies and the for wanting to spend Christmas in the Florida. He storms off the attic, wishing to have his own vacations alone. The next morning, the family oversleeps and the rushes to the airport. Kevin is with them, but he becomes the spirited from them while carrying Peter's bag and he accidentally boards up. The next morning, the family oversleep and rushes to the airport. Kevin in the with them, but he becomes separated from them while carrying Peter's bag and he accidentally boards a flight to New York City. Upon arrival, they decide to tour the city and the encounters a homeless woman tending to the pigeons in the Central Park who scars him off. He used Peter's credit card to the check in the ad puzzle hotel, not knowing that the vet benefited him also reached the city after escaping for the patients. On Christmas Eve, Kevin visits a Toy Story whose kindly owner MC Don Can plans. On Christmas Eve, Kevin visits a Toy Story whose kindly owner MC Don Can planned to donate the day sleep produced to a children's hospital. After Kevin makes a donate, Mr. Don Can gives him a pair of the ceramic truth doves in the thanks, instructing him to give one of the another person as a gestures of the internal friendship. The conversation at the place confronts Kevin about his use of the Peter credit card, now reported as stolen. Kevin feels the hotel but is the catch by the bad buddies. Marv mentioned his and the Harry plan to rob the Toy Story before Kevin escaped in a encounter with the family pressures. Earlier, upon landing in the Miami, the MC Classes family discover that Kevin is missing and the file police report. After the police trace Peter's credit card, the family files immediately to New York. Meanwhile, Kevin goes to his the uncle's townhouse only to find it the vacations and the undoings. Revelation in the Central Park, Kevin encounters and eventually befriends the pagan lady who takes him to the central hall. She explains how her life collapsed when her love left her. Kevin encouraged her to trust people again. After conceding her evidence that her performance a good deed to make up for his the mistakes and the recalling MC Duncan instant to the donate to the hospital, he decided to prevent the story home. The Toy Story robbery. Kevin rides the townhouse with the booby traps, catch Harry and the Marv in the process of the robbing the story, and breaks its the front window to set off the burglar alarm. After talking them pictures, he lures them to the townhouse where they repeatedly injure themselves in the traps. Kevin evidence them calls the police from a pay phone to alert them to the pair presence and flees towards Central Park. Harry and the Marv catch him after he slips on the ice and they prepare to shoot him. But the pagan lady throws a bucket of the bear birds on them. Peasants and the flees towards Central Park. He and the Marv catch him after they slips on the ice and they prepare to shoot him. But the pagan lady throws a bucket of the birds onto them, attracting a massive flock of the pigeons and the incaptings the pair until the police arrive to arrest them. Kevin slip away, leaving photographs and the tapes record evidence against Harry and the Marv Duncans recovers the donations money and they find a note from the Kevin explaining the broken window. The family arrived in the New York and the Katie remembering Kevin found from the Christmas trees, finding him making a wish at the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. On Christmas morning, a truck of free gifts arrived at the McCallister's hotel rooms, sent from a grateful MC Don Can from the following the robbery. Kevin's reconciles with his the family and gives one of his the truth tells to the pagan lady commencing there the friendship. MC Clone as the Kevin, a 10 years old boy with a penchant from the creating harmful inventions. Joe Pizzle as a Harry, a thief. Daniel Stream as a Marv, a thief, and the Harry Patters. Kristen's Aura as a Catty, Kevin's mothers. John Heard, a Peter. Kevin father Devon Ritter as the bus, Kevin oldest brother, who often gets into the trouble, even though are instigate trouble with the Kevin, Hallie Wolf as a Megan, Kevin oldest sisters. Production. In February 1991, Los Angeles Times reported that the John Hughes was to sign a six-picture deal with the 20th Century Fox. Among the project was a sequel to Home Alone. In May 1991, Clank was paid 4.5 million plus 5% of the film gross to appear in the sequel compared to the $110,000 for the original. The production budget was the $28 million. Principal photography took place from the December 9, 1991, 1 May 1992 over a course of the 144 days. The film was shot in the Whiting's Elevations O'Hare International Airport. Principal photography took place for the December 1991 to 1 May 1992 over a course of the 144 days. The film was shot in the Vectans Elevations O'Hare International Airport in the Chicago, Western Elevations and New York City, according to the director Charles Columbus. Donald Trump, the owner of the Plaza Hotel at the time, allowed the crew to show scenes in the hotel lobby, and one of its the society is the exchange for a cameo in the film in the additions to the stands fee or for film productions. Texas Ford burns to his the head while filmed the scenes in the wild Harry head is set on fire. John Wilson returned to the score Home Alone 2. While the film features the first film them song Somewhere in the Memory, it also connected its own them adult Crystal Star to the soundtrack. Albums of the film were released on the 20 November 1992 with one the featuring Williams score and the other featuring contemporary Christopher songs features in the film. 10 years later, a two-disc deluxe editing of the film's core soundtrack. John Williams returned to the score Home Alone 2 while the film features the first film them song Somewhere in the Memory. It also connected its own them entitled Christmas Star to soundtrack. Album of the film were released on 20 November 1992 with one featuring Williams score and the other featuring contemporary Christmas songs featured in the film. 10 years later, a two-disc deluxe editing of the film's soundtracks was released. Marketing. Numerous video games based on the Home Alone 2 were released by the THQ for such systems as the Sega Genesis, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo Entertainment Systems, Game Boy, and the personal computer. Mostly in late 1992, a spearhead held a game was released by the Tiger Electricians. Numerous board games were also released, some the based around play cards, while another was a clone emulations of the classic Mousetrap. The Tag Boy Castle record was produced as a tie-in the four movie by the electricians based on the specifications provided by John Hughes and the movie studio, and so particles evolved after the film was released on the home video. Additional promotional partners included American Airlines, through which the McCallisters make their trip via the airline, two Boeing's 767-2000s, the Coca-Cola Company, Jack in the Box, Harders, and the Raw Regards Restaurants. Home media. The film was the first released by the Fox Video on VHS and the Laserdisc on 27 July 1993. It was later released on the DVD on the 5 October 1999 as a base package. The film was released on the Blu-ray on 6 December 2009 with the no special features and was released alongside Home Alone in a collection pack on the 5 December 2010. The film was released again on the DVD and the Blu-ray on 6 October on DVD and the Blu-ray on 6 October 2015 alongside all five Home Alone franchise film titled Home Alone 25 Anniversary Ultimate Collector Chemistry's Home Alone 2 opened with the $31.1 million from the 2,222 theaters, average 40,008 per second. It broke the short-lived record that week earlier by the Bram Stoker's drug for the having the longest November opening weekend. The film went on to hold its record until 1994 when it was taken by the Interview with the Vampires. Additionally, it achieved the highest opening weekend for a Chris Columbus film and would hold that record until it was pierced by the Harry Potters and the Sector Stone in 2001. It started Chris Columbus film and would hold that record until it was surpassed by the Harry Potter and the Sector Stone in 2001. It started off better than the Home Alone, crossing $100 million in the 24 days compared to the 33 days for the original. However, the final box office gross was the lower with the $173.6 million in the United States and the Canada and worldwide total of the $359 million compared to the $476 million for the first film. The film was released in the United Kingdom on the 11th December 1992 and it topped the country box office that weekend. The film is the third highest grossing film released in 1992 behind The Background and the Additions in the United topped the country box office that weekend. The film is the third highest grossing film released in 1992 behind The Bodyguard and the Aladdin in the United States and the Canada. It grossed more than The Bodyguards and ranked second. Critical response. On the Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating on the Rotten Tomatoes R-rated date based on the Temple R-rated date review with and the average rating of the Temple R-rated date. The site critical consensus read a change of finance and the more cementally and the volience can't observe the fact that Home Alone 2 on Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of the template R-rated date on the Temple R-rated date review with an average rating of the Temple R-rated date. The site criticals convince readers a change of the valence and the more cementally and the volience can't observe that the fact that Home Alone 2 lost in the New York in a less inspired families offers the success on the entrance of the Metacritic. The film has a weighted average score of the 46 of 100 based on the 22 criticized indicated mix or the average review. Audience police by the cinema score give the film an average grade of the A negative on an A positive to a F scale, a grade lower than the film A earned by its success. Rotte Embed of the Chico Sun Times gave the film 2 out of the 4 star and stated that the cartoon's volumes is only funny in cartoons. Most of the live action attempts to the duplicate animations have failed because when flesh and the blood figures it the prevent, we can almost hear the beans crush and it is not funny. Kent runs reviewing for the Los Angeles Times wrote whatever was the unforced and the funny in the first film has become excreted here. Whatever was the slightly sentimental has been laid on with our towels. The result with the some expectations plans like and the over elaborators brought of the first film remaining as why we enjoy it without the being able to duplicate its appeal. The result with the some expectations plot like and the over elaborated parody of the first film why we enjoy it without being able to duplicate its appeal. Dave care of the Chico Turbans wrote the sequel plays like a coherent, self-providing versions of the creatures in which the fantasy elements have become a grobers and the more and more materialistic, the sentimentally more rich and the aggressive, already alongside intense in the first film, even more graphic and the sadistic. brain lawyer of the Valenti, noted the sequel diversion when they compare to the original film, but wrote the action sequences are well choreography, if perhaps too mean-spirited, more graphic, and the satellix brain lower. Variety noted the sequel Drive-Witness when they compare to the original film. But wrote and the action sequence are well choreography, it if perhaps too means preaches even if light of their cartoonish nature. Janet Melsia for the New York Times acknowledged that Home Alone 2 may be a lies, convinced but it stayed with a sense of the iconish and a lot of the holiday cheer returns of the Mr. Clunk in this role is established even if this alternational comic actor has been given title new to do Mr. Paxi and the Mr. Stump bring great gusto to their characters stupidly to the point where they are fair being given title new to do. Mr. Pexy and the Mr. Strands bring great gusto to their characters stupidly to the point where they are for funniest just walking and the talking than they are being heard. Reviewing for Time magazines, Richard Jekyll noted Home Alone 2 Pixels follow the formula that made it the predecessor the biggest grossing comedy in the human history, but no, it is not a drug and it is not a trip off. Look on it as a twist. Told fairy tales. He praised Hughes and the Chris Columbans and felt the details of the relations are developed, widow and the originally, and they are presents with and the energy and a convention that sequel usually lack. Dion Sprague of the Hollywood Reports wrote that while presenter with and the energy and a convention that sequel usually lack. Daniel Brad, the Hollywood Reporter, wrote that while the sequel in the merely super mentions of the original kids will be delighted by it, he feature praised Clunk as the brightly winning, felt the Pisky and the Stunt deserves combined Melcy and the Curie serve as the traffic for roles Kevin pranks. In recent years, online reviews have the look more favorable on the film. John Nugent of the Empire magazine in 2022 articles enters Why Home Alone 2 Lost in New York in the Better Than Home Alone argued that the film was a sequel that effectively also functioned as a remark, a film that recognized that the greatness more favorable on the films. John Nerds of the Empire magazine in a 2022 articles entitled Why Home Alone 2 Lost in New York is Better Than Home Alone argued that the film was a sequel that effectively also functioned as a remark, a film that recognized that the greatness of what came before and wisely knew have close to that the winning formula as possible. Also returning in the 2022 Red Goldens of the Clutter's Knot, a significant part of the film appeal in the unapologetic in talking everything the love about the first film to a higher level. Other media. See also Home Alone 3, Home Alone 4 Taking Back to the House, Home Alone The Holiday Heist and the Home Sweet Home Alone, a third film with a new cast. Home Alone 3 follow in the 1997 two televisions movie How Alone 4 Taking Back to the House and the Home Alone The Holiday Heist aired in the 2002 and 2012 respectively. How Sweet Home Alone, the sixth film in the series, was released in 2021. Novelizations Home Alone 2 was the novelized by the Todd Straits and the published by the Scholist in the 1992. To the conceit with the film, the point version which has the same storyline was also novelized by AI singer it has and the ISBN of 590 45 7070.9 minus 9 and the audiobooks version was also released and by the Curie who play the consider in the film. As in the novelizations of the first film, the MC Cluster's life in the Oak Park, elevations and the Croc are named as the Harry Limbs and the Marv. And the novel also takes place on the year after the events of the first film but the ages. after the events of the first film, but the ages of the Kevin and his siblings are giving as being 2 years older than the film in the beings of the novelization's apolograph, which ends up being the Marif nightmares in the Persians. He and the Harry sneaks away from the cops and return to the Kevin house to seek revenge on the Kevin. Kevin bolts into the crates with the Marv and the Harry in the plot, pursuit Harry and the Marv and the intriguing extra traps that the Kevin set up in the grabs. Kevin watches as the Marv ends up triggering a trap where a running lamb over falls on his head. This was a trap features in the Home Alone 3. Home Alone 2 tops busy holiday box office. Home Alone 2 Lost in the New York led the way to record-setting Thanksgiving's holiday box office with a stunning $39 million, 2,231 screens during the Wednesday through the Sunday period. The overall 5-day box office total was close to the $130 million, easily beating the $108 million market set during the 1998 Thanksgiving weekend, and the setting the start for what could be an even stronger than the Thanksgiving Christmas holiday seasons. That the last year, that the best in the histories. Home Alone 2, which opened with a 3-day gross of $31.1 million last weekend, nearly duplicated that the number with the $28.6 million for the Friday through the Sunday period that brought its the 10-day total of the $74 million. The 20th Century for release backed by the on Priest's market compare and the goodwill for the 1990 original has a good shot at the opening $2,000 million. The 20th Century for release backed by the an on-present marketing campaign and the goodwill from the 1990 original has a good shot at a topping 200 million in the domestic gross. The original took in the $285 million, making it the third biggest movie of all time, but need 23 days to make it the first $75 million. Home Alone 2 deliver just one of the survival remarkable of performance. 1,131 screen during the 5-day holiday period after setting record during a 2-screen run. That total was well above the $50.5 million record opening for an animated film set last year's by the studio Beauty and the Beast, and industry projections of the $20 million. We are ahead of what we accepted, said Richard Cook, head of the Destiny Distributions arm. The opening weekend success of the Aladdin is nothing short of the extraordinary. The film appears headed for a strong gross because of its ability to attract well beyond its core audience of the children and should gross somewhere around the $145 million that Home Alone 2 delivered just one of the survival remarkable performance. Destiny much praised animated Aladdin took $25.1 million at the just 1,133 screens during 5 days holiday period after setting records during a 2-screen run. That the total was well above the $50.5 million record opening for an animated film set last year by the studio Beauty and the Beast, and industry projections of the $20 million. We are way ahead of what we accepted, sighed Richard Cook, head of the Destiny Distributions arm. The opening weekend success of the Aladdin is nothing short of the extraordinary. The movie appears head of the strong gross because of its ability to track moviegoers well beyond its core audience of the children's, and it should gross somewhere around the $145 million that the movie appears ahead for a strong gross because of its ability to track moviegoers well beyond its core audience of the children's, and should gross somewhere around the $145 million that the Beauty took in. Cook said about 800 screens will be added to on December 18th. Running a close third over the weekend was the opening of Warner Bros. Romance action film The Bodyguards with the $24.4 million, 1,770 screens deposit being hammered by the many criticized. The star power of the Kevin McCallister and the pop singer Whitney Houston in the first film debut shoot enables Bodyguard to top 60 million by the Christmas. 60 million by the Christmas. The trio of top movies likely to let the box office again next weekend since the only new film opening will be Destiny. Adele Murphy goes to Washington's comedy to the distinct gentleman at the about 1,900 screens. Murphy has not had a major hit since coming to America, but his the film has performed respectively. Columbia Bram Stoker's Dracula landed in the fourth place with a still healthy 5 days gross of the $40 million at the 2,491 screens, netting its the 70 days gross past $70 million. It should fly past $120 million by the Christmas. Columbia Brain Stoker's Dracula leading in the fourth place with a still healthy 5-day gross of the $40 million or 2,491 screens. During its the 70-day gross past $7 million, it should fly past $120 million by the Christmas. Warner Epic MC Clone X finished fifth with a solid of $150.5 million. Day tax at the 1,249 screen, pushing its the 12 days total close to the $27 million. It is not yet clear whatever X will show enough strength in the coming week to justify its $35 million price tag, but it has posted decent numbers so far, giving it the 2001 minutes running time. Warner Passengers 57 movie into the sixth place with the $5.3 million at the 1,854 screen during the holiday weekend for a 24 days total of the $33.2 million, followed by the Columbia A River Runs Through It with a still solid $4.1 million at a 104.1 million at the 1,080 screens. River which has received high. Warner Passengers 57 move into the sixth place with the $5.3 million at the 1,854 screen during the holiday weekend for a 24 days total of the $33.2 million, followed by Columbia A River Runs Through It with a still solid $4.1 million at a 1,080 screens. A River, which has received high praise from the critics, has now topped $28 million in gross. Three fall hits that many have fueled the current success of the box office rounded out the top 10. Warner Under the Six hangs on with the $3.7 million at the 1,560 screens for an 52-day gross of the more than 72 millions. Folks, The Last of the Mohicans took in the $2 million at the 1,178 screen for a 10-week gross of the $68 million, and Destiny hockey comedy The Melted Duck grossed $1.6 million at the 1,481 screens for a 9-week total of the $44.4 million. Mad Max The Crying Game, a terrorist thriller set in the Northern Ireland, garbles a whopping 150 to 405 at just 6 screens. MGM, fifth weekend of the steam romance, The Lover set in the Vietnam in the 1992 kept us from the heart with the 372.489 at just 33 screens. The studio may go wider with the period piece before the end of the year. Weekend gross screens, total gross weekend in release number for The Passengers 57 and Under Six are the estimated. When Home Alone 2 Lost in New York $39 million, 2,231, $74.2 million 2 weeks. 2 Aladdin's $25.1 million, 1,137, $25.8 million 3 weeks. The Bodyguard $24.4 million, 7,701 week. The Bodyguard $24.4 million, 70,701 week. Bram Stoker Dracula $40 million, 2,491, $70 million 3 weeks. MC Clone $111.5 million, 1,249, $26.9 million 2 weeks. Passengers 57, $5.3 million, 1,854, $33.2 million 4 weeks. A river runs through it, $4.1 million, 1,008, $28.3 million 8 weeks. Under Sigat, $3.7 million, 1,560 million. The Last of the Mohicans, $2 million, 1,175, $68 million 10 weeks. The Mighty Ducks, $1.6 million, 1,481, $44.4 million 9 weeks. Where was Home Alone 2? Lost in New York. Lost in New York film. Completely locations guide. City, New York, USA. Location types: hotel, mansion, school, concert, storyfront, film studio. Location styles: Cape Cod, industrial hotel style limo. About Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. The movie Home Alone 2, Lost in New York is a comedy film from the 1992. It was written and produced by the John Hughes and directed by the Chase Columbus. The movie started its Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Catherine O'Hara, Dinah Stearns, and the John Hart. The film follows Kevin McCallister, who is separated from his family during the Christmas vacations. The film was released on the 20 November 1992 by the 20th Century Fox and was a box office success, grossing over 359 million against a budget of the $28 million. The plot of Home Alone 2 revolves around Kevin McCallister's MC Kelly Clans once again being separated from his family, who are going to Florida from the Christmas vacation. Still, he mistakenly boards the wrong plane this time and follow Kevin McCallister, who is separated from his family during Christmas vacation. This film was released on the 20 November 1992 by the 20th Century Fox and was a box office success, grossing over $359 million against a budget of the $28 million. The plot of Home Alone 2 revolves around Kevin McCallister's once again being separated from his family. We are going to Florida for Christmas vacation. Still, he mistakenly boards the wrong plane this time and he ends up in New York City instead. After enjoying his stay at the Plaza Hotel with his father's credit card, Kevin meets two familiar faces, Harry and the Marv, as they plan rob and the order many toy store with his newly acquired gadgets from the hotel lobby. Kevin must find some way to outwit them again if he wants to save what left of the Christmas. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York received positive review, with the citizen praising the cast performance and its humor that they paid homage to the predecessor. Meets two familiar faces, Harry and the Marv, as they plan to rob and the order man Troy Story with his the newly acquired gadgets up the hotel lobby. Kevin must find way to outwit them against if he wants to save what left of the Christmas. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York received positive review, with the criticized praising the cast performance and its the humor that paid homage to its the predecessor, while having enough originality to stand alone. The film won three awards in the 1993, the MBI Film and the TV Award for the Music, won by John Williams, the People's Choice Award for the Favorite Comedy Motivation Pictures, and the Golden Screen Award in Germany. The movie has nominated for the Young Artist Award in the 1994 for the Best Youth Actress Leading Role in a Motion Pictures Comedy Scenes. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York locations. Lost in New York is the quintessential holiday movie, and for many of us, it brings back fond memories of the childhood Christmas. The classic sequel was filmed in the multiple locations, from the Chicago to the New York City. The backdrop of this movie could not be any more iconic as it takes place in two of the greatest citizens on the earth. Some of its most famous scenes occur at the Pressex Plaza Hotel on the Fifth Avenue. Danson's toy chest are the rockery buildings and the corner within the Hilton's and the Towers Hotel. In addition to these popular cities, other memorable settings included O'Hare International Airport. The backdrop for this movie cloud not to be any more iconic. It takes place in two of the greatest cities on earth. Some of its most feminist scenes occur at the prestigious Plaza Hotel on the Fifth Avenue. Duncan and the Toy Chest, a rockery building, and the Cunard Hilton suite within the Hilton's and the Tower Hotel. In addition to these popular cities, other memorable settings included O'Hare International Airport, where Kevin McCallister first arrives, along with his the home located at the 667 locations average in the weekends. Fourthmore, the Uptown Theatres at the North Broadway serves as the interior for the Duncan's toy chest, where Kevin meets Old Man Merely, a trip to visit this the place from the movie Wood, where Kevin McCallister first arrives along with his home located at the 671 line call events in the Vintex. Furthermore, the Uptown Theatres at the North Broadway service as the interior from the Duncan's toy chest, where Kevin meets Old Man Merely. A trip to visit these places from the movie would certainly be worthwhile for any film fan, especially around Christmas when it's the easy to imagine Kevin McCallister's running around town on his adventure storytelling through Central Park like he did, admiring the tree, Link walks away and the Pixar lakes, or walking past the imposing Trump's Tower on the Fifth Events, giving you a sense of living and adventures alongside him. To get another taste of the nostalgia, visit the rockery buildings, where the Duncan's toy chest is also worth visiting. All these places will bring back fond memories and make for an enjoyable experience. The school chore scenes in the Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, Haven Middle School's 2417 Parallel, Abbey Evalenster, ILUSE. The opening scene occurs at the Haven Middle School, where the family attends a school course. The exterior of the building is shown, with its elegant tickets, fair that and front entrance. Inside in an additional film, with people as the Kevin, performing his the vocal solo. Unfortunately, his older brother Buzz causes a distractions by the making silly noise and the gestures. Running the performance in the relations, Kevin gets up on the stage and they attack him. This scene has become iconic for its the over-the-top slapstick humor and its often citizens as one of the most memorable moments from the movie. The school has two floors and the outdoor courtyard, perfect for the filming outdoor scenes. Haven Middle School is located in the Everstones IL 2470s, a suburb of the Chicago that is served as a stand-in for many locations throughout Home Alone 2. Lost in New York, it is the easily accessible VI car or the public transport from the Chicago city centers, taking around 30 minutes to reach by car, or the VI train from the downtown Chicago. Kevin McCallister's might have been lost in a big city, but he know how to make the most of it. Kevin hears commercials advertising the Plaza Hotel as the renowned, most thrilling hotel experience in the New York. Before he departs from the Chico, he checks into this hotel using his bad credit card and the obtains luxurious suites. After ordering and the ice cream Sunday buffer VI room service, Kevin enjoys swimming in the pool, watching a parody of the angles with the dirty faces, one of the famous artists from Kevin McCallisters might have been lost in a big city, but he knows how to make the most of it. Kevin hears commercials advertising the Plaza Hotel as the world renowned, most thrilling hotel experience in New York. Before he departs from the Chico, he checks into this hotel using his dad's credit card and the obtains luxurious suites. After ordering and the ice cream, Sunday buffet VI room service. Kevin enjoys swimming in the pool and the watching a parody of the angles with the dirty faces. One of the famous quotes from this parody this Merry Christmas you 50 animals and a Happy New Year. The memorable scene was filmed in the one of the Manhattan's oldest hotel, the Plaza Hotel located on the 5th Avenue between 58th and the 59th Streets on the Central Park South in the Midtowns, Manhattan. Completed back in the 97, Plaza was designed by the Henry G. H. Harbrack as part of the Friedrichs Law Olympus Park site vision for the Central Park South that would later come to be known as the Milestone Road due to all complicated back in the 97. The plaza was designed by the Henry G. H. Hardenbreck as part of the Friedrichs Law Olympus Park side versions for the Central Park South that would later come to be known as the Millionaire Row. Due to all the wealthy people living there, it is now considered the historical landmark. It has hosted notable celebrities like the Marilyn Monroe, Scott Fitzgerald, and the battles for those visiting this historical landmark. The Plaza Hotel can be easily accessed by the taking various subway lines, including Long Beach Branch, Port Washington Branch to the 74st Broadway. You can also opt for a private car ride or the taxi over VI6 AVE of the America. After getting comfortable, Kevin's orders are lemurious and tasks and the driver for the good toy store. He decided to do to the Duncan, two chests decorated for the Christmas with a friendly odor warner. The store has festival decorations and the toys that they capture kids' imaginations elsewhere. Kevin presses Green's limo go, a map of New York and a Swiss Army knife from the Mr. Duncan. Harry and the Marv. After getting comfortable, order a lemonade and ask the driver for a good toy store. He decided to go to the Duncan's to chest decorated for the Christmas with a friendly odal owner. The store has festive decorations and the toast. The capture kids' imaginations elsewhere. Kevin purchased Green's limo go, a map of New York and a Swiss Army knife from the Duncans. Harry and the Marv are also inside the store scouting out their hiding place before their Christmas Eve heist. The exhibited footage for this icon scenes was the film at the Rockery Building in the Chico, located in the 2009 South Las Steels at the West Adams Street, a historic landmark in the Chico that was completed in the 1888 and the design a National Historic Landmark in the 1975. The movie features the story Unchanged a Rich entrance which has the remain beautiful since 1992. This allows fans to appreciate this executor of the locations getting to this location. National Historical Landmark in the 1975, the movie features the story Unchanged, Arched Entertains, which has remained beautiful since 1992. This allows fans to appreciate the executor of the locations. Getting to these locations in the reality easy as it close to survival data bus stop on the webs, which can be reached from the various line included 66 and the 9 buses from the nearby station such as Clark Lake of the State Lake. It also near two metro stations, Unique Station and the Olivia Transportation Center from the comments who prefer real travel. One of the most iconic moments in the movie in the scenes where Kevin and the Pagans lady listen to the concert together. The Chico Hall rooftop is the abstain and the file with the old instruments and the maniquettes a secret headway. The Cinderella that once huge from the cleaning are they still there, providing a mysterious and the airy atmosphere to the place as Kevin and the Pagans lady sit together. They talk about being invisible to the world, feeling like they don't belong. One of the most iconic moments in this movie, the scene where Kevin and the Pagans lady listen to the concert together. The carriage hall rooftop is the adorned and the filled with the odd instruments and the maniquettes, a secret headway. The chandelier that once used from the Kaling are still. They are providing a mysterious and the era atmosphere to the place as given as the pagan ladies sit together. They talk about being invisible to the world, feeling like they don't belong where. Her because she homeless and him because he is the youngest. They listen to a radiation or comer all of the ye faithful. All ye faithful, we strength their bond and they gives them hopes for a better futures. Carriage Hall is located on the 57th Street between 7th Avenue and the 6th Avenue in the Milton Manhattan, New York City. It is one of the most famous venues for the concert, rectors, lectures, or plays in the America. With the over a century of history, considered by the Andrew Carriage in the 1891 as an homage to his the new life, Louis who sang with the Oratio Society of New York. It has been home to some of the history's greatest artists from the Leonard distance to the Jolly Grant. If you wish to visit Carriage Hall, you can quickly get there via public transportations or car. To reach Carriage Hall in the Manhattans using public transport, you can use the nearest bus stops 6AV, W6, ST and the Broadway. You can also take the subway, the first subway to go to the Caro Hall in the Manhattan. If you are traveling by car, use 8th or the 9th AV as the alternate roads if the traffic is too bad. On the Broadway, there are parking grass nearby if you need them as well. The scenes where Kevin's Bobby traps the brownstone is one of the many hilarious scenes from the Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. Here Kevin leads Harry and the Marv on a valid ghost chases, setting up series of traps to the outsmart them. The two bottlers are sent tumbling into the bearless blown up by the faceless acres and followed by the fake police scenes. As the syphilitic comedy peaks, these memorable scenes plays out with the plenty of the laugh. This movie motions on a while it goes, chases setting up a service of the traps to the outsmart them. The two burglars are sent tumbling into the bearlets, blown up by the frackers and the flood by fake police siren. As the syphilitic comedy peak, these the memorable scenes play out with the plenty of the laugh. The movie motions the address 51 ways 25 cities and the actor brownstone that they resemble the location show in the film. However, the house interior was filmed on the Boston Street or New York Street in Universal Studio. Fans of Home Alone can still visit Boston Street on the Universal Lost, which has stated at the same to visit Brownstone Street, and they reveal these iconic scenes from Home Alone 2. You will need to make your way to the Universal Studio Hollywood. The park is located at the 100 Universal City Plaza in Universal City, California 900-168 and is open year-round for the visitor who wish to explore its many attractions and the rides. If you want to see the outside of the place features in the movie and you are in New York already. Plaza in Universal City, California 9060-108 and is open year-round for the visitors who wish to explore its many attractions and the ride. If you want to see the outside of the place featured in the movie and you are New York already, take a quick ride from the city center to the 5121 site. You can enjoy the atmosphere of these movie locations there. After defying Marv and the Harry, Kevin goes to the famous larger tree and speaks to it, admitting that does not deserve a Christmas gift deposit doing a good deed and instead want to take back every mean things he ever said to his family. He asks the tree if he can see his mother and to his the surprise, she appears quickly. Kevin Master in the Amazon asking how she know he was there. His mother says she know Kevin and his love for the Christmas tree. She appears quickly. Kevin matters in the Amazons asking how she know he was there. His mother says she know Kevin and his love for the Christmas trees, so she figured she would find him at the biggest one. In these iconic scenes, he is standing beneath a massive Christmas tree at the Rockefeller Central in the Manhattans. The giant tree stands as a beacon of hope and the Christmas cheer for the Kevin standing amid the hostels and the bustles of New York City. The Rockefeller Central features 5 deco blending home to home of the century most famous stores, restaurants, theaters, and the attractions every year since 1933 tree has been led with the over 3500 lights and events that usually draw thousands of the visitors to the Rockefeller Plaza each December. The evening climates, which celebrates firework display and the musical performance from some of today's top talented. The Rockefeller Central is the example by the public. The Rockefeller Center is example by public transportation between 49 and the 51 Street on the 5th Avenue. Visitor can take the MTA subway lines B, D, F or D, M to reach the center Hard Rockwell Central stations. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York 1992 is an iconic movie with the great acting script and the idea. It showcases Macaulay Culkin reprising his role as the Kevin McCallister, a self-reliant young boy left alone in the city that the average sleepers. The movie is full of the comedy moments, showcasing that the naughty kids can be resourceful when they need it. Brand Freckles give the film its the obligators does of the sentimentally with her the portrayals of a bag lady convert in the pagans, further in changing the overall viewing experience. The success of Home Alone 2 at the box office undoubtedly contributed to the movie industry at the time, as it was one of the highest grossing films and they helped to solidify its place as an the enduring Christmas classic. Audience praise MC Clay Clank performance, commenting on his infections, energy and the humorous delivery a highlight for the many viewers. The incredible film locations, well-known landmark Christmas cheer and the bucket full of love turned his movie into a resounding success. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York 1992 stand out from the other family film and would make for the interior viewing of the holiday or any additional time of year. Whatever is your first or the tenth time watching it, this movie with the undoubtable brings much needed laugh and the warm moments to entertain everyone. The 1992 review. On 20 November 1992, 5th Century Fox Universal Home Alone 2 launched in New York in theaters where it would go to on gross 358 million worldwide. The Hollywood Reporter's original review is below. With the John Hughes Home Alone 2 lost in New York, 20th Century Fox does not have merely a cash cow, it has a cashier. Whether the producer Hughes and director Caris Columbus have wrapped up with the same winning story, ornaments from the 1990 holiday smash, repack them in the gleaming airy and the top them with the sparkling lipstick lamix. While Sam's courage, his adult me negate that this sequel is merely a surprisation of the original. Kid will be delighted by its keeping all their favorite plots. This Christmas, the McCallister clan has decided to vacations on the Florida, which does not still well within the traditional minded Kevin's who cast a Dame's eye on the Hollywood tribes to the tropical climes. Once again, the fantastic family pre-trips Charles causes Kevin to be the left in the lots. He accidentally brought the wrong plan, one headed for New York. Well, New York has snow and it has the Christmas tree and buy a stock of the handle mixing. Kevin has his hat, cash and the credit cards. Like Frank Senorita, Kevin is taken by New York. New York, he quickly invite his the way into the plaza and the pet takes of the high life. Room service horror videos once again. The fantastic part of this, like Frank, Senorita, Kevin is taken by New York. New York, he quickly invades his the way into the plaza and the partakes of the high life. Room service horror videos once again. The funniest part of these memories is when Kevin Hordwing's authority figures most prominently the hotel fee concert. The hotel fee concert, but not all its short Bob and the Sundays in the luxurious suite. The two wet baddies have escaped and the landed smash that in the Big Apple. They have adapted their potential skill, their professional skills for the times, give up on home, Branklers and set their beery eye on the Christmas tales, namely the cash reside of a kindly toy store owner who has remarked his holiday take for a children's hospital once again. Too hard Kevin is the fly in their early ointment, the only obstacle to their the deliciously deeds, building exactly to a smash car's final as Kevin once again. Concert and the symbol of fake Ruby Glauber Torsen device to through and the through to the Burkles Home Alone 2 is the fourth list year. Mermaid like the most holiday decorations, it's light goofy. Kevin gives sympathetic advice to a homeless birds woman, but its sentimental are on the kind side. Kids will yearly with the glee at this the traditional stock ups the plastic. Kevin Mechanical Outlet has a cartoon is the four so furious and so brutal are his ploys. With these many strikes as a director carries Columbus has the surely infused them with a VIE, Crotize his quietly and the Mathams embarrass has good commercials fun. Clunky is the wisely, winning once again as the self-ranked kid alone, while the Pacey and the Stunts deserve combat medals to the Brickles and the Slunks they adrew. Curie as the force butchered. Consider is a terrific fall to the Kevin prank, while Devin Gratry as the Kevin laughing Brother Buds once again it's the partly of sense. Technical contributions from the production into the finance of the holiday shades, Sunday Venetians, Sentimental and Symptosis Productions design and the John Wilson's Rochely Love Music and the Perfect Grashments Dan Berger originally published on the 16 November 1992. On 20 November 1992, 20th Century Fox Unbelievable Home Alone 2 lost in New York in theaters where it would go on to the gross 558 millions worldwide. The Hollywood Report's original review is below, with the John Hughes Home Alone 2 lost in New York. 20th Century Folk does not have merely a cash cow, it has a cashiered. Written producer Hughes and director Charis Columbus have wrapped up some winning story ornaments from the 1990 holiday smash, repackaged them. Written producer Hughes and director Charis Columbus have wrapped up to hem safe winning story ornaments from the 1992 Hollywood smash, repackaged them in the glamming army and the top with them a sparking slappist climax, while some Scottish adults may niggle that this sequel is merely a super musicians of the original kids will be delighted by its keeping all their favorite goodies. The Christmas the MC Clusters clan has decided to vacations in the Florida, which does not sit well with the traditional minded Kevins who cats are dim heavy on the holiday tribes to tropical climax. Once again, the fantastic family pre-tribes Chesokeses, given to be the left in the lodge. He accidentally boards the wrong plane, one headed for the New York. Well, New York has no, and it has the Christmas tree and buy a store of the handbag. Mix up, Kevin has his head, dad, cash and the credit card. Senorita Kevin is taken by the New York, he quickly invades his the way into the plaza and the partakes of the high life. Room service horror videos once again the funniest part of this. Life rank Senorita. Kevin is taken by the New York, he quickly inveiges his way into the plaza and the partakes of the high life. Room service horror videos once again. The funniest part of this The Mermaid is when Kevin hoodwinks authority figures, most prominently the hostel fake concerts. But not all is soda pop and the sandals in the luxurious suit. The two wet buddies have escapes and the landed smash that in the Big Apples. They have adapted their professional skills for the times, given up on home broadleys, and set their buddies' eyes on the Christmas deals, namely the cash registers of a kindly toy store's owners, who has earmarked his holiday take for a children's hospital. Once again, is the fly in their all ultimate, the only obstacle to their destroyers, building exactly to a smash crash finally as given once again concert as the assemble of a Vicky Rob Goldberg tortures device to the thought and the through the birds. Home Alone 2 is the fourth survive. Mermaid like the most holiday election is the little guy Kevin gives some pathetic advice to a homeless bird woman, but the sentiments are on the kind side. Kids wear yellow with the glee at the redactional stock ups plastic cabin specials. Onslaught has a cartoon. His furious so the furious and the so brutal are his the blow. Kind kids will yo. With the glee at this traditional stock ups plastic cabin, Michael's onslaught has a cartoon is the furious and the so brutals are his blows. While this may strike some as the sadics, director Charis Columbus has the shortly infused them with a vile Kyoto is the quality and the mayhem embrace as good commercial fan. Clank is the bracelet, winning once again as the self-reliant kid along, while Pessy and the stunt does not combat metals to the brags and the slings they endures. Curie has the fucks bucket. Concert is a traffic fall for the Kevin pranks, while Devon retries as the Kevin laughing brothers burst once again is the partly of sense. Tactical contributes wrap the production in the finest of the holiday shades. Sandy Vanian, sentimental and the Stupids production design and the John Wilson Rauschley lush music are perfect. Great Mint, Danny Bragg, original published on the 16 November 1992. Home Alone 2, New York, VI Chico. The VI looking down at the Civic Center Christmas tree after their mayor Richard J. Delitron on the light 9 December 1966 ST 8455-82 Chico Sun Times Collection CHM. It's been said a million times, the sequel never lives up to the original. And while that generally hold true, when the expectations happen, they are the particles noteworthy. When The Empire Strikes Back was released in 1980, it pushed the boundaries of sci-fi film in a way many thought impossible, shattering the precedents set by its predecessor A New Hope. Similarly, Christopher Nolan, The Dark Knight made crowd fall in the love and the appreciate villains. Just they much have more in the repeatedly forgettable world of Hollywood film sequels. Home Alone 2. Lost in the New York pools, no pushes compared to its the predecessors, standing as a Christmas movie slaps. Released on 20 November 1992, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York is the sequel to 1990 iconic holiday box office hit Home Alone. When it the opened it the shattered the record for the largest November opening weekend with the more $31 million is the review and would go on to gross just over $100 million in 3 weeks. It would ultimately rank as the third highest grossing film of the 1992. The film takes all the antique and the hygienics that made the first a hit and the amps them up to the next level, with the Love's Kevin MC Cluster played by the Macaulay Culkin outrunnings. The film takes all the antics and the hygienic that made the first a hit and the amps them up to the next level, with the lovable Kevin MC Cluster played by the MC Clue Clinics, outrunning and the outsmarting his the rivals. The wet buddies, after being separated from his the family and the accidentally landing in New York inside of the Florida for the family holiday vacations, but while Kevin may have landed in New York, his film was set inside the universe of the latter directors, John Hughes, which the often meant one thinks if it could be set in at the film in the Chico, it would be so, with a bite of the Hollywood camera magic and set design. Even the keenings of the observe were ticket into the blink that Kevin Lobster burns, Ventica and went 800 miles east to the Big Apple. All thought a good amount of the film was shot on set and its studio of the most iconic scenes were still cleverly filmed in the Chico. Some of the earlier scenes in the movie were filmed in the Ventica and the Evanston's and it near O'Hara International Airport. The airport actually returns later in the film, serving as the double for a John F. Kennedy International Airport in the Queens, where Kevin was altered that he had once again been separated from his family. O'Hara International Airport new international runs on the day of its the ribbon-cutting ceremony, 27 May 1993, ST 3000 2446091 Chico Sun Times Collection CHM. While Kevin's luxurious stay at the Plaza Hotel in the New York features the hotel lobby and the exiters, his iconic penthouse suite was the actually located in other hotels that looms large in the Chico history. The Hilton's Chico on the South Megans, originally named the Stephens Hotel, the Hello Birds and the Roche Design Building opened its door in the 1927, and it was known as the City with a City due to its the near endless intimation and 3,000 guest room. At the time, it was believed to be the world's largest hotel. The business would eventually be acquired by hotel maintained Cronkite Hilton, and he would remind the building after himself, highlight the importance of the building. Kevin, using his dad's credit card, cried himself into the hotel card suit, also named after the man himself. The pool scene featuring poorly flirting swim trunks was the film as a stone throw away at the Four Seasons Hotel on the Deliver Place. The Stephen Hotel, now the Hilton's Alone, Amsterdam Average in the 1927 CHM. Kaufman and the Fabry photography scenes no excuse to the Chico, New York is a completely without some shopping. Duncan's toy cheese capture every kid dreams by the stories. The magic behind the Duncan was created in two parts. The story executors belong to the historical Burnham and the root designed rockery buildings on the South Lelsel Street in the Lob. Meanwhile, the story inter was crafted by making use of a Northside movie place, the iconic Uptown Theatres originally owned by the Baldens and the Catas Movie Con. The theatre luxurious interior was meant to mimic that of the place of the vessels and was one of the first buildings of its size to have air conditions throughout its run. The theatre presents everything from the silent movie and the Vandal show to the major acts like The Prince and the Woo. It closed its door in the 1981. What a Lex boy Kevin was to be inside extends to the Rockery Building to 209 South Alsace Streets, 30 July 1957. Finally, in what was perhaps the most creative use of the Chico landmark to the outside as location in New York, Kevin Bird's eye viewing of the orchid performings, O comes on all ye faithful against, make a convincing, and we had Argo better looking double of the Coring Hall by using the Chico symbols. Semiphone Central on the corner of the Migrants Average and the Adam Street in the Louvre as the performance space. Benny Gottman record with the Chico Semiphone Orchards on the performance stage at the Orchards Hall 220S Migrant Abbey 80 June 1966. Today, both Home Alone film continue to be the cult classics. The Hilton Hotel where the Kevin stay even offer a them stay simply titled the Kevin package with the allow guests to stay in the concert suite as a life at their home. Alone dreams personal cheese pizza included for those looking to relive even more nostalgic. Every December to mark the holiday, Easy Street Pizza in the nearby Park Ride transformed into the Little Near Pizza, the functional restart from the first installment of the franchise, where no less than 10 pizzas were ordered at a cost of the 92.50 million in 1990 dollars, adjust from the inflation that would be $281.12 million. Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. Lost in New York. I have a feeling that Home Alone 2 Lost in New York is going to be an enormous box office success, but included me out. I did not much like the first film, and I did not much like this one, which is Sadic's title hero woo the mercilessly hammers to a couple of the slow learning crocs. Nor did I enjoy the shameless attempt to relieve the meme by including a Percy subplot about the Piggins lady of the Central Park. Call me hard haired, call me cycles, but the please don't call me if they make Home Alone 3. I know, the violence is all a joke. Some of the gags are lifted directly from the old color cartoons. And in the spirit Woodward are looking at their road runner adventure with the Crocs playing the role of the Wild E. Crotto as the two helpless mobs fall down leaders and they get slammed by the buckets and the 500-pound bags of the cements and the crowded with the glue and the paint and color cartoons and it's the spirit walls we are looking at there are roadrunner adventures with the crocs planning the role of the white E. Koto at the two helpless mobs, fallen down ladies, and they get slammed by the bricks and the 500-pound bags of the cement, and they covered with the glue and the giants and the bedseat. You can hear the clanking of the old Lonnie Tunes hero in the background, and just like in the cartoon, and the crooks are never really hurt. They bounce back, dust themselves on, bend their bones back into the shape and they are ready for the next adventure when the little Kevin turns them. He sounds like the Bugs Bunny and when they catches him, they are in the traditional of the Elmer Fudd. Most of the live action attempts to duplicated animation have failed because when flesh and the blood figures hit the pavement, we can almost hear the bones grunt, and it is the funny. Take, for example, the scenes in Home Alone 2, where Kevin lures the croc into trying to travel down a rope from the top of a Fury-story townhouse. He was sacked to the rope in the Korean scenes, and when they are halfway down, he sets it on the fire. Ho ho. The movie repeats the formula of the best-selling original film. Once again, Kevin forgetfully family leaves home without him. Once again, Kevin's thoughtful family leaves home without him. He gets on the plane to New York instead of the Mammy, and once again they fight while he dials effectively while the word he cracks into the Plaza Hotel on his dad's credit card and has time for the heartwarming convention with a kindly all to the shop owners and homeless bird lovers, not to mention Donald Trump's before running into his the old enemies, the Crocs, and Dinah stunts when he discovers they plan to rob. The story was received and the distance for a children's hospital. He know he has his work cut out from him. Messing with kids on the Christmas Eve that's going to for the kid outsmart the usual ornament of the species. Receipts are the design for a children's hospital. He know he has his work cut out from him. Messing with kids on the Christmas Eve that going to afford the kid outsmart the usual instrument of the suspicious adult included hotel clerk Tim Curry before the setting a series of the ingents traps for the croc as before he seems to have the complete command of all the handmade skills included rejoins ladder and the rank applications for the electrical shocks, and of course he find all the props he need even for the riding the exploding toilet and the setting that the slap gun to the fire through the keyhole in between the painful particles jog. There is the teachy relationship with the frankly as the Piggins lady who show him for a headway inside the selling off. In between the painful particles jokes, there is the trackle relationship with the frackers as the Piggin lady who show him her the headway inside the ceilings of the carriage hall. Christmas carousel from the concert below as the Sentiments. Little Raps lecture the old lady on the meaning of it if he believes half of what he says. He had give the crocs a break. In this a children movie, I convince I do not know. Millions of the kids will go to see it. There used to be movie where it is was bad for a little kids to hurt grown ups. Now Kevin bounce, bracelet off the skulls from the rooftop, and the everybody laughs. The question is not whenever the movie will escape the children in the audience, in whatever the adults will be able to peek between the fingers. Movie will send the children in the audience in whatever the adult will be able to peek between their fingers. Everyone has their own home alone too. There are a spot on the Central Park Mall just north of the state of the observatory Fritz Creek.
Hi everyone!
Hello! Welcome back to our channel.
Yes, we're so happy you're here. I'm John.
And I'm Anna.
Today we are going to talk about something everyone has, our daily routines.
That's right. Every single day has a rhythm. Morning, afternoon, evening, our routines shape our day.
Absolutely. And it's a very useful topic for practicing English. You can use simple words to describe your day.
Exactly. But before we get started, a small request. If you like this podcast, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel.
Yes, it really helps us and lets us know you enjoy these conversations. And don't forget to share with your friends who are learning English. Okay, Anna, let's start with the morning. How is your morning usually?
Oh, mornings are a bit difficult for me, John. I am not a morning person at all.
Really? That's interesting. I'm a morning person. I love mornings. Everything feels fresh.
I wish I could feel like that. For me, the alarm clock is my worst enemy.
Ah, yes, the alarm. Beep, beep, beep. I wake up sometimes with a little jump.
And do you get up immediately?
Not always. I pressed the snooze button a couple of times. 5 more minutes, then maybe 5 more.
Oh, no. So when do you really get out of bed?
When I absolutely must. If I'm late, then I jump out of bed.
That's so funny. I wake up early before the sun and I enjoy the quiet.
Really? What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Coffee. I need my coffee first. It wakes me up.
Coffee is essential. I do the same.
Do you like your coffee black?
I add a little milk. It's warm and comforting. How about you?
I like it strong and black. No sugar, just pure coffee.
And after coffee?
Breakfast. For me, it's simple. Toast or maybe a banana. I'm usually running late.
I like a proper breakfast. Yogurt with fruit or eggs. I have more time in the morning.
You wake up very early, that's true. So after breakfast, it's time to get ready.
Yes, I like a hot shower to wake up properly.
I love hot showers too. They make me feel alive. And then clothes, choosing what to wear.
That's always tricky. I have a closet full of clothes, but I always feel I have nothing to wear.
I keep it simple. Blue shirts, white shirts, gray shirts. One choice, done.
That's smart. Less thinking in the morning is always good. After dressing up, it's time to go to work. How do you get to work, Anna?
I drive my car. The traffic is sometimes slow, but it's okay.
I usually take the bus. This morning it was crowded. I had to stand for the first 10 minutes.
Standing on a moving bus is not easy.
True. But then I got a seat and listened to some music. That helps a lot.
That's good. Sometimes I wish I could take the bus to relax and watch the city go by.
Me too. And on some nice days, I ride my bicycle. It's healthy and fun.
I like cycling too, but only when it's not raining.
How about longer trips? How do you get to your family's house?
I take the train. It's about 2 hours. I like looking out of the window, seeing the countryside.
That sounds very relaxing. I like long train trips too. I sometimes sleep a little on the train.
The sound of the train can be very calming.
And when you go on vacation, what's your favorite transport?
I like trains for comfort and scenery, but I also like flying for longer trips. Airplanes are fast.
I have mixed feelings about airplanes. They're fast, yes, but airports can be big and stressful.
True, but flying opens new countries to explore. Last year, I flew to Italy. Amazing experience.
That sounds wonderful. How did you get around in the cities there?
Mostly by walking, and sometimes the subway. The maps are clear and easy to follow.
Did you take taxis?
Once, from the airport to my hotel. It was a little expensive, but I was tired. Sometimes convenience is worth it.
Absolutely. And what about boats? Have you ever traveled by boat?
Yes! Last summer, I took a ferry to an island. The water was blue, the sun was shining. Beautiful.
I love ferry trips. Very relaxing, but the water can be a bit rough sometimes.
True. If it's not calm, some people get seasick.
But on a calm day, it's perfect. We've talked about cars, buses, trains, bicycles, planes, taxis, subways, boats, and walking. Did we forget anything?
Maybe scooters or electric bikes. They're popular in the city now.
Yes, I see many people riding them very fast, but sometimes dangerous in traffic.
That's true. I prefer walking short distances, healthy and free.
What do you do when your bus or train is late?
I feel stressed, especially if I have a meeting. I check my watch many times.
I call my friend or send a message just to let them know. Everyone understands.
That's a good idea.
Do you use car-sharing apps sometimes?
Yes, when I need to carry lots of shopping bags.
That's smart. A bus is not always convenient for big shopping.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that's enough for the morning and commute part.
Yes, but we have so much more about daily routines, from work to lunch and afternoon to evening.
Right, and before we continue, remember viewers, you can practice your English by talking about your morning routine. What time do you wake up? What do you do first?
Yes, practice saying, I wake up at, I drink coffee, I take a shower. Simple sentences, but very useful.
All right, Anna, shall we continue to the workday and lunch part next?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, Anna, now we are at work. How does your typical workday start?
Well, I start by checking my emails. I need to know if there are important messages or tasks for the day.
That's smart. I usually check my messages too. It helps me plan my day.
After that, I make a to-do list. Writing down my tasks makes me feel organized.
Me too. I always write my tasks in order of importance. First the most urgent, then the smaller things.
That's a good idea. I do something similar.
And what kind of work do you usually do in the morning?
Mostly meetings and planning. I talk to my team and make sure everything is on track.
That's interesting. I spend my mornings reading reports and preparing documents.
So mornings are busy for both of us.
Do you take breaks during the morning?
Yes, a short coffee break around 10:30, just a few minutes to stretch and relax.
I like that. I usually walk around the office or drink some water. It helps me feel awake.
Breaks are very important. They give your mind a rest.
Now, let's talk about lunch. Do you usually eat at home or at a cafe?
I usually eat at the office, but sometimes I go to a cafe near work. I like to walk a little during lunch.
That's healthy. I bring lunch from home most days, a sandwich or salad.
That's good. Homemade lunch is usually healthier and cheaper.
True, but sometimes I enjoy eating out with friends. It's a nice change.
And what time do you usually have lunch, John?
Around 12:30 or 1 p.m. And you?
Around the same time. I like to eat before 1 p.m., so I have energy for the afternoon.
And what do you usually do after lunch?
Sometimes I take a short walk or I read a book for a few minutes. It helps me feel refreshed.
That's a good idea. I usually take a short nap if I can. Even 10 minutes can help a lot.
Yes, I agree. After that, it's time to continue work.
In the afternoon, I usually have more meetings or phone calls. What about you?
I usually focus on completing tasks from my morning list, writing reports, sending emails, and preparing presentations.
So afternoons are productive, but also sometimes tiring.
Yes, definitely. I feel a little tired around 3 or 4 p.m.
What do you do when you feel tired in the afternoon?
I drink some tea or coffee, or I take a few deep breaths. Sometimes I just stretch for a few minutes.
Stretching is a good idea. I also listen to some soft music while I work. It helps me concentrate.
And what about breaks? Do you take another one in the afternoon?
Sometimes a 5-minute break around 3 p.m. It helps me stay focused until the end of the workday.
Yes, breaks are very important for staying productive.
Now, let's talk about finishing work. What time do you usually finish?
Around 5:30 p.m., sometimes later if I have extra tasks.
I finish around 6 p.m., but if the day is busy, I may stay a little longer.
That happens to everyone sometimes.
And after work, what do you usually do?
I like to go home and relax, maybe watch a little TV or read a book.
That sounds nice. I usually exercise in the evening, a short run or some stretching.
That's good for health. Exercise helps to release stress from the day.
Do you cook dinner or order food?
I usually cook simple meals like pasta or salad, and sometimes I try new recipes.
I like cooking too, but I sometimes order food if I'm tired.
That's okay. It's good to rest sometimes.
And what time do you usually eat dinner?
Around 7 p.m. And you?
Around the same. I like to eat, then relax for a while before preparing for the next day.
After dinner, what do you usually do?
I spend time with my family or watch a TV show. Sometimes I prepare things for tomorrow.
That's smart. I usually plan my clothes and bag for the next day. It makes mornings easier.
And how about relaxing? Do you have a special routine?
Yes, I like to read a little or listen to calming music. Sometimes I do a short meditation.
That's nice. I sometimes take a warm shower and then relax with some music.
Evening routines are very important. They help us sleep better.
Speaking of sleep, what time do you usually go to bed?
Around 10:30 p.m., I try to get enough sleep. How about you?
Around 11 p.m. I sometimes watch one episode of a TV series before sleeping.
That's fine. The important thing is to have a regular bedtime.
And how do you feel in the morning after a good night's sleep?
I feel energized and ready for the day.
Me too. Sleep is very important for energy and mood.
So, John, we've talked about the morning, workday, lunch, afternoon, and evening.
Yes, it's amazing how much a daily routine shapes our life.
Absolutely. And talking about it in English is a great way to practice words and phrases for everyday life.
Right. You can say, I wake up at 7 a.m., I eat breakfast, I take the bus to work, I have lunch at 12:30, I go home at 6 p.m., I cook dinner, and relax.
Very good example. Simple, clear, and very useful.
All right, Anna, now should we continue with part 3 next? That will cover night routines, weekend routines, and some tips for practicing English daily.
Yes, let's finish the day and make it complete.
Okay, Anna, now let's talk about the night routine. What do you usually do before bed?
I usually clean up a little, wash my face, and brush my teeth. Then I like to read a few pages of a book.
That sounds peaceful. I sometimes check my phone or write a short journal about my day.
Writing a journal is a great idea. It helps you remember what you did and how you felt.
And how about relaxing before sleep? Do you do anything special?
Yes, I sometimes listen to soft music or do a short meditation. It helps me feel calm.
That's good. I like taking a warm shower before sleeping. It makes me feel relaxed.
Evening routines are very important. They help us sleep better and wake up refreshed.
Now let's talk about weekends. Weekends are different from weekdays, right?
Yes, definitely. I usually wake up a little later, maybe around 8 or 9 a.m.
Me too. And I like to have a slow breakfast, maybe pancakes or toast with coffee.
Sounds delicious. I usually eat breakfast and then plan a little for the day.
What kind of activities do you do on the weekend?
I like visiting my family, going to the park, or meeting friends. Sometimes I go shopping.
That's nice. I enjoy sports on the weekend. Running, cycling, or sometimes playing basketball.
Physical activity is good for health and energy.
And what about relaxing at home?
I sometimes watch movies or read a book. Sundays are my relaxing days.
I agree. I like to watch TV or listen to music at home too.
Weekends are a mix of fun, family time, and rest.
Do you have a weekend routine for learning English?
Yes, I like to watch an English video or listen to a podcast. Sometimes I read a simple English book.
That's very helpful. I also practice writing short sentences about my day in English.
Practicing daily, even a little, makes a big difference.
Let's give our viewers some tips for practicing English every day.
Tip 1.
Talk about your day in English, even simple sentences. For example, I woke up at 7 a.m., I had breakfast, I went to work by bus.
Tip 2, write a short journal in English. Even 5 sentences a day is enough.
Tip 3, listen to English podcasts or watch videos. Try to repeat some sentences.
Tip 4, read a simple English book or article every day. It improves vocabulary and grammar.
Tip 5, practice speaking with a friend or a language partner. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
That's a lot of great advice. Learning English is like any other skill. Practice every day.
Yes, little by little, your English improves. It's a journey, not a race.
Okay, Anna, now it's time for our question of the day.
Yes, we always love to hear from our viewers. Today's question is, what is your favorite part of your daily routine? Morning, work, lunch, afternoon, evening, or night?
You can write a simple sentence like, my favorite part is breakfast, or I love relaxing in the evening.
Or you can try a longer sentence. I like the morning because I have breakfast and drink coffee while listening to music.
Remember, everyone, there is no right or wrong answer. We just want you to practice English and talk about your life.
And if you like, you can also write one sentence about your weekend routine. For example, on Sunday, I go to the park and read a book.
Before we go, let's do a short summary of the day.
Okay. In the morning, we wake up, have breakfast, and get ready.
Then we go to work or school. We commute by bus, train, car, or on foot.
In the day, we work, have meetings, eat lunch, and take breaks.
In the afternoon, we finish tasks, sometimes feel tired, and take short breaks.
In the evening, we relax, exercise, cook, or eat dinner, and prepare for the next day.
At night, we do our hygiene routine, maybe read or meditate, and go to sleep.
On weekends, we wake up later, spend time with family or friends, do activities, and relax.
And don't forget our tips for practicing English every day: talking, writing, listening, reading, and speaking with a friend.
Yes, even small daily practice helps a lot.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We hope you enjoyed learning about daily routines.
Yes, remember, everyone, your daily routine is unique, and talking about it in English is a great way to practice.
If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel.
And click the bell icon so you don't miss our next video. Share this video with friends who are learning English. Practice together.
From all of us here at Daily English Talk, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep smiling.
Yes, have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.